A few weeks ago, I made a video going through all the major 2025 releases. Your Superman, your Zootopia 2. That video was a big collage of pretty much everything we're gonna get. This video, we're just gonna focus on the 10 most exciting projects that I am excited for, and probably you guys are too. The ones with the most potential, in my opinion. If your list is different, feel free to comment it down below. I would love to see how you would rank these projects. But before we get into the top 10, I would like to shout out some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut. Starting off with Wicked for Good on November 21st. I really liked the first Wicked movie. Never seen the musical, though I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, and the first Wicked movie blew me away. However, I don't know why, I'm just worried for part 2 of this movie. Maybe it's because part 1 was so good that it set a very high bar for itself that it might not be able to beat. I don't really know any popular songs from the second part of this act or narrative, and also certain elements of the narrative have been spoiled for me, so that sucks. But yeah, I feel like maybe this movie is coming out a bit too soon, given just a 1-year separation between the two parts. Not too sure. Either way, it did not make the top 10, but it was very close. Another one that didn't make the top 10 was How to Train Your Dragon on June 13th. This is the live action version. I loved the cinematography that we saw in the trailer. Loved the setting. It's always a treat when we get to see new environments in films. Just reminds us that the world is a very big place. And yeah, dragons. I'm still getting used to the look of them, but I think it'll grow on me. I think the actors, especially Hiccup, look great, but I'm just not the biggest fan of this particular franchise, and so that's why it didn't make the top 10. The final honorable mention has to go to The Electric State, coming out on March 14th. I feel like I'm one of the only few people who consistently has faith in this project. I thought the trailers looked great, especially the teaser trailer. Loved the visuals and cinematography. Loved the setting. I trust the actors. Only real thing dragging this down is I am worried about the tone of this movie, and I'm also worried about the fact that it's a movie. I don't know how they're gonna cram this new universe all into one film, and I hope they have a more fixed tone when the movie actually gets released. But other than that, I am on board for this narrative. I also have a theory about certain plot points, but maybe I'll save that for another video. But those are all the honorable mentions. Let's get to the top 10 itself. Starting off, number 10 with a Minecraft movie on April 4th. This movie has something special about it. I dedicated a whole video discussing this movie and why I think it could potentially be great. The visuals look clean and attractive. It's a bold movie that's tackling a not very straightforward concept. I like the tone. It's pretty campy and fun and lighthearted. I think it'll have a good message about exploring one's creativity and believing in oneself. I like the cast, and I really appreciate what it represents and what it hopefully will do for the movie industry going forward. I think we need movies like a Minecraft movie that pushes the boundaries of what can be shown and done on the big screen. It's very necessary in my opinion, so it takes the 10th spot. Moving on to number 9 though, I am excited for this movie. It is none other than Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out story. Knives Out is a well-established franchise at this point. Loved the original Knives Out movie. I liked Glass Onion. I thought it was interesting. Wake Up Dead Man seems like it's gonna learn from the quote-unquote mistakes that Glass Onion made and the strengths of Knives Out, the first movie. And I just think it's gonna be better than both of those two films combined. I'm loving the aesthetic and tone of this film so far, even though we haven't seen anything from it, besides a few set photos and stuff. But just the title itself, Wake Up Dead Man, and the teaser for it, I think we're getting a little bit supernatural this time around. A bit more horror elements maybe. I'm very down for it. And it has Kaylee Spaney in it. Love that woman. She's just amazing. So yeah, I am very ready for another Knives Out mystery. But what excites me more, at number 8, has to be Wildwood. This is from Leica Studios. They made all of our favorite movies: Coraline, Missing Link, Paranorman, Kubo and the Two Strings, The Box Trolls. I trust them. I also made a video dedicated to Wildwood. It looks incredibly promising. It's been worked on for a very long time. So much manpower is being put into this film. The dedication is oozing out of the screen. Visuals look impeccable. Synopsis and tone and setting are intriguing and fantastical. It's like a studio's. Of course I'm gonna watch it. Very easy number 8 for me. Here's a curveball though. At number 7, I'm gonna put The Legend of Ochi, which is coming out on February 28th. This one is different because I'm not familiar with this film's director. I am familiar with some of the cast like Willem Dafoe and Finn Wolfhard, but it's an A24 film, and that's where the familiarity kind of ends. But I kind of consider this movie to be like the live-action version of Wildwood, and I have a slight preference for live-action films, so that is why this is number 7. If you look at it, this film follows a teenage girl who lives around a forested area. Her family and siblings are an integral part of the story. There's gonna be magical creatures involved, pretty similar to Wildwood. This movie also reminds me of Okja, the Netflix film. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. Similar thing, follows a young teenage girl who meets a misunderstood creature of some sort, and then they go on an adventure. The Legend of Ochi seems to have amazing cinematography and visuals. It's gonna be a treat just for the cinematography alone. So it is at number 7. We cannot talk about 2025 without bringing superhero movies into the mix. So at number 6, we have Thunderbolts coming out on May 2nd. Also dedicated a video to this project before. I'm optimistic about it. I love the cast. I love the characters. I like the premise. And while I don't think it's gonna be like the most impactful movie in the MCU, I think it's gonna be a very fun film. And that is kind of what matters to me the most, whether it's fun or not. Thunderbolts seems very fun. It feels like one of the most fun projects we've had in a while from Marvel. I'm expecting a lot of laughs to come out of this one. And maybe some tears, question mark? We'll find out on May 2nd. But in the meantime, let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is coming at the very end of 2025, which is a bit of a bummer. But nevertheless, on December 5th, we are getting Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Josh Hutcherson is gonna be back, Piper Rubio is gonna be back, and I think Matthew Lillard is gonna be back as well. So is Elizabeth Lail, just all the people that we loved from the first movie. Five Nights at Freddy's just really surprised me. Had a surprising amount of heart in it. The cameos were very unexpected, but that just goes to show how much they were willing to lean into the fan base, and that's always a good sign. I really hope they keep up that dedication and appreciation for the source material. I think Scott Cawthon also worked on this movie alongside the director. They have a lot of stuff to pull from. I am just so excited for this franchise to expand. Bring it on, please. Let's compose ourselves though and move on to number 4, which is fittingly enough, the Fantastic Four, First Steps, on July 25th. Made a video about this as well. This is without a doubt the biggest Marvel project of 2025. I have a lot of faith in it. Love the cast. I know that's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I think they did a bang-on job. The tone so far I think is impeccable. This movie can change everything moving forward. The Fantastic Four are going to be a huge pillar of the MCU going forward. So this is a very, very, very big film. Definitely seeing this in theaters. Another movie that you should definitely see in theaters is number 3, Superman, on July 11th. Probably the biggest movie of 2025. I would be surprised if theaters aren't packed for this movie. I'm gonna try to book my ticket as early as possible. Middle center seat. I'm ready. I'm locked in. Let's do this. It is a bit surprising though, because the quote-unquote biggest project of 2025 is not in first place for me, because there are 2 other projects that I am more excited for and am more personally connected to, one of which being at number 2, Wednesday Season 2. I'm surprised at how much I've connected with this TV show. When it first came out, I remember being a bit skeptical about it, and I held off on watching it for a long time, but obviously now I love it. I absolutely love the storytelling, the setting, the characters, pretty much everything about that TV show is like fireworks to me. So naturally, I would be super excited for Season 2 of this show to drop. Characters are being changed a little bit. Enid has a new hairstyle, which looks pretty dapper if I say so myself. Wednesday has a slightly altered look. Things are getting more intense, presumably. I feel like season 2 is gonna do big, big things, and I will be there. I will be there. But there's one other project that takes precedence over all of these other projects, and that is at number 1, without a doubt, Stranger Things Season 5. Pretty easily my most anticipated project of 2025. I can't even begin to describe how much this show means to me. I grew up with it, and I grew up with the cast themselves. I'm around all of their ages. This show has a very, very special place in my heart. If you look at my older videos, you'll see in the background I have posters of Stranger Things in the background. It's gonna be a very bittersweet moment to say goodbye to this show and the cast. The story, the characters, and the people involved in this project have changed my life in many ways and has changed the lives of many other people that I know as well. People love this show, and for a very good reason. Not a single bad season, impeccable storytelling, impeccable writing. They know how to make moments. They know how to make you care. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about Stranger Things much, much more in 2025, so watch out for that. And there it is, my top 10 list of the most anticipated projects of 2025, plus some honorable mentions. Now, I am aware that I haven't included any video games into any of these videos, and that is because I'm going to be making a separate video for all of the video games that I'm looking forward to in 2025. So also look out for that as well. But besides that, what do you think of the list? Would you change things around? What projects did I miss out on? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to read your responses. If you would like to support this channel, please consider becoming a channel member. Press the join button or the link in the description below, and for the equivalent of $2 a month, you'll get access to badges, emojis, and your username displayed at the end of every video, like this. Thank you for your consideration. Back to the video. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.